everybody. We are going to read a story today, and then I have a craft to show you that goes with our story. The title of our book today is A Tiggerific Band. I don't know about you, but I love Winnie the Pooh and his friend Tigger. So let's get started. It was a great day in the 100-acre wood, but Pooh and his friends didn't mind. There were plenty of things they could do indoors. The problem was, they couldn't think of any. Perhaps a little smackroll of something would help, offered Pooh. And with that, Pooh began searching through his cupboards for a nice, full jar of honey. I'll help you look, volunteered Roo. He stuck his head inside a small cabinet and began to rummage around. Hooray! Cried Roo suddenly. Pooh looked hopeful. Honey? He asked. Something better, answered Roo. He held up 2 pot lids, then hit them together. Clangety-clang, squealed Roo. Cymbals sure are fun to bang. He grinned and added, but Mama says they're only fun if I bang them outside. Say, cried Tigger, how about we make a band? But where will we get the instruments? Wondered Piglet. We can make them out of all sorts of things, Christopher Robin explained, just like Roo made cymbals out of pot lids. Listen, he said. Christopher Robin picked up an empty honey jar and spoon. Rat-a-tat-tat, he sang. I made a drum. Imagine that. He circled the room, marching to the beat. In the meantime, Pooh had finally found a full jar of honey. After taking a quick taste, he announced, I think I shall play a honey pot too. But instead of hitting the pot with a spoon, Pooh began to shake it instead. Look, a maraca, Pooh shouted. But the honey didn't shake, it sloshed all over poor Pooh. Silly old bear, said Christopher Robin gently. Perhaps you should try an instrument that's a little less messy. That's so silly, he got all sticky. Piglet was having better luck. He'd found a very small jug just right for a very small animal. When he blew across the opening at the top, it made a pleasing whistling sound. Toot, toot, toot. My jug sounds like a flute, Piglet shouted. The music was cheerful, just like Piglet. He danced around poor Pooh, trying to get him to skip along. Oh, what bad luck, said Pooh. I think I'm stuck. Stuck on that sticky honey. Tigger thought he might like to play the jug too. He picked one up and blew into it, but nothing happened. Tigger tried again, his cheeks as big as balloons. Still the jug was silent. Tiggers do not like instruments that make them huff and puff, he declared. How about these? Asked Roo, holding out his cymbals. Tigger crashed the lids together. The loud clanging went into Tigger's ears and echoed all around inside his head. And Tiggers certainly do not like instruments that give them a headache, he complained. In the meantime, Pooh had found a wonderful instrument to play. He rattled a jar of buttons. Shake, shake, shake. That's the sound maracas make, he chanted. Goody, said Roo. Our band is almost ready. Tugger hung his head. But there's nothing for me to play, he said sadly. We'll help you, Tigger, said Christopher Robin. What kind of an instrument did you have in mind? Tigger thought for a moment. One that's Tiggerish, he declared. The friends looked from the top of Pooh's house to the bottom. Surely there was something that Tigger could play. Roo found 2 sticks for Tigger to bang together. Too clickety-clackety, Tigger complained. Piglet gave him a fireplace fan to squeeze. Too squeezy-wheezy, decided Tigger. Finally, Pooh gave Tigger his doorbell. Too ding-a-lingy, said Tigger. He flopped in a chair. Maybe there's no such thing as a Tiggerish instrument, he said with a sigh. Do you think Tigger will find an instrument? Let's read and find out. Suddenly, Christopher Robin smiled. Maybe there is something for you, but it just hasn't been invented yet, he said. Wait right here. Soon Christopher Robin pulled his wagon up to Pooh's house. His friends came out to see an odd collection of junk in the wagon. There were old toys and broken bits and pieces of this and that. The only way to make an instrument fit for Tigger is for Tigger to make it himself, Christopher Robin explained. Tigger was filled with excitement. Well, what am I waiting for? He shouted. I've got work to do. Tigger immediately set to work. He grabbed a horn and slung a washboard on his back. Some of his instruments were too heavy to lift, and some made him twist like a pretzel. When he played, he looked at the pile of odds and ends in the wagon, trying to decide what to do next. Roo wanted to make Tigger feel better. It's okay, he said. We don't have to make a band. We could just play games instead. Roo picked up a slingshot and an acorn and ran to the nearest tree. Boing! Went the slingshot. That's it! Tigger cried. In a few minutes, Tigger had built himself a brand new instrument. When he plucked its slingshot strings, a smile spread across his face. Boing, boing, wee! Exclaimed Tigger, bouncing with glee. The music sounds just like me! As he goes boing when he jumps. At long last, the band was ready to play. Each band member took a turn leading a song. Roo started them off with a nice loud one. Christopher Robin played a rousing tune just perfect for marching. Piglet's song had everyone skipping about, and Pooh's shaker got his pals wiggling and giggling. When it was Tigger's turn to lead, he even sang a little tune. Round and do-si-do, music makes me tap my toe. Grab a partner, feel the beat, music gives me happy feet. Everyone danced and had a wonderful time, but no one had a better time than Tigger, who finally felt the music inside and out. The end. Alright, this story was about Tigger and his friends making music with things they found around Pooh's house or in Christopher Robin's wagon. So I thought it'd be fun if we could make our own instruments at home. So I brought some things to show you that you could use to make an instrument. Now you could use things like pots and pans and anything you could find around your house like Pooh and his friends did, but I thought I'd show you how to make a musical shaker, kind of like a maraca, like the one that Pooh used. So what you'll need is a little bit of tape. You can use whatever kind of tape you want. It's very sticky. So I have some tape here. I'm going to set that aside. You'll also need a tube. You can use a paper towel tube or toilet paper. And I went ahead and decorated mine with some markers. But you'll need a tube, and I've already taped one side of it. So you'll need two pieces of tape, one for the top, or one for the bottom, one for the top. And I'm going to use some rice to make my shaker. So what I'm going to do is take about just a little spoonful of rice. Try not to make a big mess. Measure it out. And I'm going to pour it into my shaker. Top it with my piece of tape. And after I make sure it's nice and sticky, I've got a maraca. You ready? Shake, 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 shake. That's the sound maracas make. And now you've got your own homemade instrument. You could make lots of them. You can make different sizes. You could put different materials inside the shaker. I used rice, but what else could you use that might make a different noise? Maybe some buttons like Pooh used, or maybe some marbles or Legos, or anything you can find. Put it in a shaker and see how the sounds are different. Well, boys and girls, I hope you have lots of fun with this music video, with our story and with our maraca craft. And I hope you get to make lots of music. Bye!